Let's talk about things that are likely in Daniel Levy's eyes, and that's Harry Kane winning something with Spurs. He's been speaking at the Debating Society of Cambridge University, and he said he can absolutely win a trophy at Spurs, but being a legend is also important. The fact that he's top scorer of Tottenham Hotspur, he's making history. I hope one day that there is a statue of Harry Kane outside our stadium. Now, Gab Marcotti was very animated about this on the latest Gab and Juls Show. Here's what he had to say.
This whole thing about, all those ex-pros, one after the other, they wheel them out. They're usually, let's face it, a bunch of people who've played for a bunch of different clubs who stopped being fans a long time ago. And they say, he's got to win trophies. He needs to win trophies. He needs to go to Manchester City, to go to Bayern, to go to Real Madrid, blah, 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 to win trophies. You know my thoughts on this.
Yeah.
I hate that. This idea, this whole, show us your medals, right? Like, David May has 1 million medals, or whatever his name was, right? I mentioned, what does that mean? I'm sorry. If you're raised in a club, and I know there's pictures of him in an Arsenal shirt when he was very, very little.
Yeah.
But, he's a Spurs guy.
Yeah.
It may mean something more to you.
No, of course.
It may mean something more. And so when Levy talks about, it could be a statue of him outside the club one day and whatever, that's genuine. And
Fair.
it just bugs the crap out of me.
That's fair.
All these people who sold themselves for the coin by moving to a bigger club. I want to win trophies. No, this guy's a fan.
But that might be also how Harry Kane feels, that he wants to win trophies.
Maybe. And maybe that's how he feels, and that is his decision. But you can't go and paint him in a corner and say, in the same way it would be wrong to say, you need to stay here forever, even though we're never going to win anything other than the odd League Cup.
Yeah.
It's equally wrong to say, you got to move on and win trophies. Show us your medals. Well, what kind of nonsense is that? How much would a trophy be worth if he moves to Manchester City and wins another title? What, as Erling Haaland's backup?
So it's nonsense, Stevie, to just be sticking around and not winning things.
That's a good example of somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about. Is what it is. How would he know? How would he know that's what every footballer wants? Wait a minute. He wasn't a footballer, was he? All right, enough.
So he's got no point in what he's saying.
He's entitled to his opinion. I just happen to think he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to that.
Look, I understand what Gab is trying to say. We've had this discussion. We've used the example of Alan Shearer. Okay, he won a Premier League title before joining Newcastle at Blackburn, but didn't add to it in his time at Newcastle. Gab also likes to talk about Francesco Totti staying at Roma for as long as he did. And listen, I take those examples, and if that's how Harry Kane sees himself and sees his career, then fine. That's his decision to make. But to that very point, Daniel Levy starts off his statement by saying that Harry Kane can win a trophy, which he then comes out and puts trophies on the table on line one of the discussion. So if Daniel Levy comes out and is talking about Harry Kane can win a trophy at Spurs, then you don't then somehow accuse everybody of being disingenuous by saying that Harry Kane needs to win a trophy, because this is his own chairman saying exactly that. So we're just going, as far as I'm concerned, we're just going on what Daniel Levy is putting out there.
And we've made Jules sit through that again, because as you can see, he was already there for the actual original version from Gab. Can you stick up for your podcast partner here, Jules?
No, because I disagree with him. I mean, I let him talk as often on that show, of course. I just think that Harry Kane can decide whatever he wants, and you could not blame him for wanting to win trophies and feel that he's got more chances to win a trophy at City or Bayern or wherever he wants to go than at Spurs. He can also have both. He's already a Spurs legend. He will have his statue. Nobody will ever beat his record of goals scored there, I think, because I don't think they will have another Harry Kane anytime soon at Spurs. So that bit is done. So now if he wants to focus, he's going to be, let's remember, he's going to be 30 in June. And he's got 1 year left on his contract at the end of this season. By the way, Daniel Levy can talk as much as he wants in Cambridge and Oxford and Harvard and wherever he wants to go. But very soon, either his best player will leave on a free, or he will have to give him a new contract, and if he doesn't sign the contract, he will have to sell him. So Harry Kane can have the two things. He's already a legend with a record that is not going to be beaten, and then he can go if he wants to and leave and get trophies somewhere else.
What do you think his next move is, Stuart, for Harry Kane? Should he stay or should he go?
I think he's going to stay at Spurs. I think there's some truth in it. I don't necessarily agree with what Gab's saying, but Daniel Levy is not going to let Harry Kane go particularly for cheaply. And Harry Kane, I think, is a sort of player that loves being at Spurs. I'm not sure he's a sort of player that can go somewhere else and still be a top-class player and be happy in the environment. And I go back to Stevie's point. You know, I fully agree with most of what he says. But do you think Gabriel Jesus was happier at Manchester City, winning titles but not playing very often and not being the star player, or coming to Arsenal, or maybe not winning the title this year and being their star player? I bet he's happier in his football at the moment.
Well, if you'd like to hear more...
I mean, that's a good argument. I would, however, just say, how many kids do you know that all they talk about is scoring the winning goal in a cup final?
Every kid I know.
Every kid that's ever picked a ball up talks about scoring the winning goal in a cup final.
Many kids.
No, I want to be the all-time. I want to be the all-time leading goal scorer at Tottenham and the all-time leading appearance maker. I'm not worried about cup finals. No, thank you. Or Champions Leagues, or Carabao Cups, or Conference League, or Europa League, or
we get the point.
Charity Shield.
We get the point.
No, thank you.
As
I'm
you
not
can see,
interested. No, thank you.
Stevie's on fire tonight.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.